Понял, под моим управлением. Наблюдаю вас 292 на 94.
Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video on the event vehicles added in War Thunder in this crafting event that is happening right now. I'm sorry about the audio of the video. I don't know why every single audio that I recorded yesterday just collapsed and I just couldn't get it back. I don't know why. And if I'm going to try to record again, I'm not gonna be able to actually release this video today, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to just put a music behind. The gameplay is there still, but it's just that I don't know why it's happening this with the audio. It really is something else, I don't know why. But anyway, here we are with the T-72M2 Moderna. So we have another gameplay. I did a video yesterday on the Kafir, you know, and just some normal gameplay. I'm going to review a little bit, and yeah, basically it's a modification of the T-72M, which was produced in a license built in Czechoslovakia and bought from the USSR as well. And yeah, it's basically a 1990s modification of the T-72M. So the hull is kind of still the same, you know, but it has some external modules and internal modules as well that are really modern. The first thing that you always notice is, of course, the ERA. Uses a much better ERA than the Contact 1. It's kind of similar to the Contact 5, but not really. It's a little bit more similar, but it can take a punch. I can tell you that it can take a punch. Another modification is that you also always see the first time is the 30mm on the side there. So instead of just having the 125mm 2A46 and a coaxial 7.62 and plus the NVST 50 cal gun. He replaces the 50 cal for a 2A42 30mm cannon, the same cannon as in the Mi-28, if I'm not mistaken, in the K52. The BMP2 also uses that, and I think the BMP3 as well. So it's a well-known cannon and has very good penetrations, and just a overall very good kind of coaxial gun that you have there. It has some capabilities of looking up and down, but it is limited to where you are aiming with the cannon. So yeah, but still a very good gun, a very good cannon, and just in general a very crazy tank design. Another thing that is modified is, of course, the computer systems and the sight system. So it has a very modern thermal sight, as you see, but also in the commander. So it has both in the commander and on the gunner. It has very modern, I think it's second generation or third generation, I don't know, thermals. So it is pretty modern. So yeah, it's a very good, I think it's one of the best 10.0 tanks in the game right now. I mean, it has some drawbacks if I'm going to talk about its pros and cons already. Of course, the pros are the armor. It's pretty good with the ERA. The gun, of course, is amazing, and it has a Slovak ammunition, the Danap, I think it's called, and it's a very good ammunition, 500 plus a little bit millimeter of penetration, and just an overall very good gun. Of course, another thing that's also good is the 30mm is kind of a, if you think about this tank, is like a mix between the BMP2 and the T-72. It can do both things with these two cannons, so it is pretty interesting. It can shoot down some helicopters, so these would be the pros. Of course, has a more powerful engine than the normal T-72s, so being that it's a little bit faster, that you can see the I'm using the cannons and stuff, but yeah, in general it is a very interesting tank and just a very modern tank with all sorts of things. Another pro is the LWS, which is the laser warning system, which makes you know that somebody is actually locking you up with the laser or trying to get your distance and stuff like that. So it is pretty interesting to have that as well. And yeah, the cons is the first thing, of course, like any other T-72 and T-90, it's the reverse speed. So the reverse speed is really bad, really bad. I mean, it's 4 kilometers per hour as all T-72s. The forward speed is not that great, but it's alright, you know. And the turret traverse speed is also very limited compared to more modern tanks like the T-72B3 and Leopards and M1 Abrams. So in general, these would be the most problematic things that you have, especially the reverse speed, of course, as all Russian tanks are problematic in that manner. So yeah, in general, you will not have much problems if you are careful. Not many problems, but still it's a thing that you have to be careful with. As you see, the thermals are pretty amazing and the sight system is pretty good. Of course, it has the good old laser rangefinder, which always helps to identify the distance on the target, and the fire control system makes it so that you actually have the distance to shoot at the target. So yeah, pretty interesting. Has the HE and the heat. Another con kind of would be that we don't have the ATGM launcher, so we cannot have an ATGM launched by the cannon like other tanks like the T-72B and the T-80s and stuff like that, or even more modern tanks. But still doesn't affect much. Not a lot of people use these missiles anyway, so yeah, it's more for longer ranges kind of thing. But still, even with the fire control system, I mean, it's not that useful, you know. So yeah, Leopard 4 there. But yeah, in general, a very good tank, very good armor. You know, the clips that I'm showing you will tell you that it can take a punch. So that makes it one of the best in its BR. Even though there are very good ammunitions in this BR, this tank is almost immune to the 105. So yeah, in general, you will take a punch and not die. Of course, it has the same good old weak points of other T-72s. So the lower glacis, of course, it's small, but it is a problem with the tank. And the driver hatch can be a problematic thing also, being if the target knows where to shoot exactly, it can punch you out in no time, 2 crews at once or even 3. So it's not I mean, it can get crazy bounces sometimes, but even though it is a weaker point, it's not, I mean, it's alright, you know. So yeah, but in general, you will end up, the strategies that I normally use are the normal strategies that you would use with T-72. Try to get people by surprise. The mobility helps. It's not the greatest, but it can help a lot. And in general, it is very good because of the load. The reload rate, of course, is pretty amazing. Even though it's not the best of its kind, you know. I still prefer to have an auto-loading system than another crew, because, you know, the auto-loading system will always reload at the same time. It doesn't have failures or anything like that in the game, so ended up being a very reliable system to have. Of course, being just a 3 crew member tank, it can get punched out really quickly, as I said, but it's not like really bad. It's just that, yeah, I mean, it's a problem with Russian tanks, you know. You have 3 crews and a lot of ammo around these crews, so it ended up being kind of a death trap sometimes. But I still prefer these systems than the other big tanks like the Leopard and stuff like that. So yeah, and yeah, in general, should you buy it? I mean, I would say that buy it, you know, and grind or buy it, you know. I would say that, of course, it is a pretty good tank in general. I think you have to be careful on some things if you want to do that. One of the things is the price that this thing is going to have makes it a very good thing to actually sell. But if you don't have any Russian tanks and you're planning to actually get Russian tanks, maybe this thing actually helps with the grinding, you know. But in general, it's just another T-72. There's no special amazing thing. It is a T-72. There's not much to talk about other than that. But for more people that enjoy these more unique vehicles, or let me say like more unique versions of a tank, if you already have all the T-72s but you want this other variants of it, it's one of the best ones, you know, to get. The BR is pretty amazing. Thermals are pretty amazing. The ammo is pretty amazing, as I said. So it is overall one of the easiest T-72s to play. And of course, you have the grind that you have to think about, but I think of the modifications, you know. But I still think that it's more worth it to actually sell it and buy some premium that you can actually use to actually grind faster. But in general, if you already have the premiums that you want and you don't mind just getting the points, just I mean getting instead of getting guiding coins, just using the tank, I think it's better than the Kafir to hold on to it. It's more different than what we have in game already, so I think being more unique, it's a plus point on you keeping it instead of selling it. So yeah, in general, this is it. I think, should you sell it? I think yes, probably, but think about what I said. Do you already have the T-72s? Think about if you like them. You know, if you don't have anything like that, I mean, you can actually use it to grind. So yeah, consider these little things. I think it's a very amazing tank. I had so much fun grinding playing this tank to actually make the video. So it is just a very fun tank and just an overall Terminator machine, as is sometimes called. So yeah, I see you guys on the next one, and I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe. I'm sorry again for the audio, but yeah, anyway, bye guys, and I see you guys on the next one.